Welcome, everybody, to the living world of darkness. This is a scene for the Changeling venue, House Eiluned. You all received inscribed on goblin paper, of course, because it's so hard to track. It is infamously hard to track. That your presence was requested at an old condemned library on the outskirts of New York City. It's actually a very run-down place. There's a lot of condemned buildings here and so forth. It just looks like the sort of place where, a couple people are tied up and, there's a ransom involved. Anyways, so you go to the old library and you will see that there's other people. They're all dressed in hoodies and stuff similar to yourself that are shuffling in, and you were instructed on the note to keep your visage hidden, and you will see that these people are not humans either. They're she, just like yourselves, but they have taken pains to make sure that their chimerical visage is also hidden from view. As you shuffle in, you will see that the dim library is lit only by candles. And out of anybody, the only person that you can recognize is Countess Isolde. She stands there and she has the slightest finger out. And as the last of you, I'm going to say it's Australia, filters in, she puts her finger down, satisfied. Ladies and gentlemen, you will forgive my secrecy, but the things I'm about to say here in this meeting, well, it's best that you have this knowledge, but that if you are later questioned, you don't incriminate anybody else, either by your will or by others' arts. As some of you might have experienced firsthand this week, House Eiluned have been in most cases quietly, but in some cases not so quietly, severing all ties to us, their sister house. Although we are not exactly sure yet of why this is going on, as the sole cleared member of House Eiluned still in the Kingdom of Apples, and your default matriarch, I have to tell you what our seers have seen. It happened not through the divinations or scrying of moonstones. They just noticed, all of you must have noticed, that even at what we have done in the dreaming has forgiven us still. Eiluneds are still being born. Some of you may even be here tonight. How can this be when we are guilty of committing such a terrible crime? We are not the only ones. Baylor, Alil, Lianum, as well as Liam, Dougal, Fiona, Asin, Verich, and Fiona are all reporting births. It is as if the Second Crusade never stopped. The dreaming is still producing more changelings than ever before. During the Second Crusade, we were able to divine that this is because our war had taken so many Fae from the earth, that the dreaming was fighting back and producing more. But the seers have said that the chrysalises at this rate have not slowed, because there is yet more bloodshed to come, and soon. Another war. We don't know how, and we don't know where it's going to come from yet. but we know it's going to affect the Kingdom of Apples because that's where the births are still taking place. We have reached out to the Kingdom of Willows, the Kingdom of Grass, and the Kingdom of Northern Ice, our neighboring kingdoms, to see if the births have continued at this rate. We expect to have an answer soon. In the meantime, I ask, and I say this knowing full well whom I am speaking to, that you not undertake your own investigations. If you wish to be of service, come to me. I am putting together scholars, as well as perhaps something more. But first we need answers as to why House Alil have cut off all ties. They are our brother house, and the last time they deserted us so, it was because they very quietly discovered Duke Giles' treachery and did not wish to be associated with it. At the mention of Duke Gile, you will see some rustling and some people that want to speak, but Countess Isolde raises her hand. Silence, please. It is for your own protection. Something else we have discovered that should be known to all members of this house. It was brought up several times during the trial of Countess Anne and Duke Gile that one of the motivations for what he did was that over the course of many years, he still retained his seeliness, but his shift, his focus changed because he lost all his loves and he lost all of his bastards. War took all of that from him, and he was so determined to stop it that he turned to genocide to end the war sooner than it otherwise would have been. However, that is not entirely true. We have discovered that he does have a bastard alive. The Puka, known only as Portia. Her child is indeed fathered by Duke Gile. I ask that all of you watch this child closely. Moreover, see what other groups have their paws into Portia's interests. We already know that she had ties, although we don't know the extent yet, to this group, the Silver Sickle, that the Marshal Octavio was so involved in. For all of you that are new to our house or new to the Kingdom of Apples, be careful. Be vigilant. Eyes and ears open. If you see anything, make sure that you are not the only one that knows it. We can keep secrets. On the matter of secrets, the two things that I have told you tonight, Alil and their connection to an oncoming war, and Duke Giles' bastard, I ask that you keep that to within the house. If I find that it has moved beyond the house, I will track down the source. Thank you all for coming. If you choose to reveal your identities to yourself, it is in your hands at this point. And at that, she bows and leaves. Are you guys going to try anything? Are you going to talk to each other? Or should I end the scene here?
I'm not sure if Will would want to talk to me. Astrid is more than willing to listen. Oh, I'm sorry?
Can I make a question?
Yeah.
What is an island? Who is partial and...
Let's
Okay,
take this
I
step by
don't
step,
understand.
yeah?
I think I'll need a sort of introduction to the world scene because I'm lost.
Look, I'll admit I don't know too much about any of this either. All I know is House Alil is close to us.
Okay.
On that note, I think Astria would find Isolt and, like, offer up her services. I don't know if I'd be able to do that in this scene or a scene later.
No, let's say that you catch her as she's trying to collect her things, because she actually did have a backpack and brought a change of clothes and so forth. And she's
is
rummaging in there.
looking around to try and gauge the reactions of other people as best he can from posture and stance and maybe whatever rumblings he can hear. But
Okay, so
anybody...
William has been a member of House Eiluned for some time, and you will notice that almost everybody that you know of is here. Everybody... She is the only fully cleared member, Countess Assault here, but you'll notice that there are other people here either undergoing their questioning or those that you know that have been out of the kingdom for some time and then came down after all this was going on with Duke Guile.
Right.
There are some commoners, but there's not many. This is mainly a place full of she.
Right. I give off a palpable sense of... William gives off a palpable sense of malice at the concept of the house going to war again.
You're not the only one that's angry about this, but for the most part, most people just want to get out of there and they want to shield their features.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff they've heard tonight is dangerous. It's kind of hard to determine which one is more dangerous, House Alil and war, or the fact that there's more of Duke Guile left.
Yeah. William isn't... He's just going to look around for a few minutes, and then he's going to make his way out before he beats somebody's face in.
Fair enough. Okay, so we go back to Australia, who is trying to get a hold of Countess Assault.
Well, I'm going to bow out of the scene so I can go to bed. I'll watch the rest of it later.
Okay. Sorry for the little text monologue I was kind of making. It was just like
Fine.
Random stuff I was doing, thinking to myself.
Right. Later.
All right, see ya.
Okay.
Okay.
She's actually collecting some books.
Is Tallulah also leaving or no?
Probably not. I think not. If she can stay.
I think everyone in this. I think everyone in this room had to spend a willpower.
yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for. Safe to say, over the course of the next couple of weeks, this information will spread like wildfire through any of the Eiluneds anyways, and they'll be talking about it. Sir William was able to guess perhaps who some of the people were, but most of them took pains to cover their features.
Astrid tried as well as she could, but it's Astria. She doesn't do things well. She doesn't do things. But I'm sorry. Let's get back to this. So Assault's packing. She will hear, the cute little adorable voice. My lady.
Yes.
You said not to make any independent investigations, correct? That we should come to you if we want to render our services.
Oh, Australia. You've just been born. You've just finished your dream dance. but you want to help.
With all respect, my lady, I share in our sins, as well as the sins of those that came before me. I want to do what I can to make up for it, and keep the people I care about safe.
And at that, Talula sort of seems to be stray shadows. She just walks to Countess also, and I would also like to help. Not for the sins of others or my own sins, but all the sheer will to survive. I was only born, and I do not wish to die in a battle if I can do something about it.
Understood. Understood. In that case, do you know what the most common profession an Eiluned can have is in the dreaming?
No.
Wizard?
It's seneschal. We're always behind the shadows with those who lead the larger freeholds. If you could talk, if you could request, it might only take letter writing, but if you could request from all the freeholds, and there must be hundreds, some documentation as to tithes that have been taken in the past year, and those that have started from about, I think it started in March actually, that we noticed that the reincarnation started to speed up again. If you could ask for records from then.
Okay.
We have reason to believe that the Fiona and Gwydions might be lying to us from what we've received from the Kingdom of Grass.
Mm-hmm. What would be the basis for this inquiry? Oh.
Well, it would show population growth.
Okay.
Most changelings are taxed through tithes. It's a little unusual how laissez-faire they are about tithes in New York City, but glamour has always flowed a little bit more freely in this city. It is one of the most filmed locations in the world, and I think that continues to help. Other places, though, even the new ones are usually taxed if they want to live on somebody else's land. So you could begin that way. Furthermore, it's very dangerous, but if you can reach out in a safe way, I stress, to any of the denizens and ask if new ones of them are being born, it would let us know if the war is going to affect them as well.
I have a single minor contact with the Aheen. Maybe she can tell me more.
Okay.
Perhaps, Countess, my Aunt Chrysalis might serve us in this time.
And where did you
As
chrysalis? Did you chrysalis in the Kingdom of Apples?
perhaps as just a mere apprentice, I can make friends. Nobody will assume I know anything. I might look for friends in other places. Others born not longer, not much before me, just to exchange experience might be a good cover, perhaps.
I think so. No, I think so. And it's safe. Thirdly, I don't suppose either of you know anybody from House Allele?
No.
I've only read about them.
They used to be very active in Parliament, especially this last few months. Makes their absence all the more noticeable. If you could ask around and see if anybody has any contacts amongst the Eiluned, and exploit that. See if you can get something.
Okay.
I suppose also it's a long shot. Portia the Puka's nursemaid suffered a very bad injury recently and was forced to retire. That wasn't an accidental injury.
What do we do about it?
Do either of you want to interview to be a nursemaid?
I think I'm pretty enough to do it.
I should really stop. At least the baby wasn't hurt. All right. Right now, we don't have enough intel to do anything greater. But hopefully this will help us get the information faster, most importantly before the other houses. If we're able to present something concrete to Queen Mab, well, it doesn't fix what happened last year. But it's a good start. War breaks out. We shouldn't have. We never should have been managing the prisons. Eiluneds are spies, everybody knows that. And perhaps we'll have that opportunity in this war if we are trusted. Anyways, I'm going to get going.
Okay. I should let my lady know. My talents seem to be less in the covert and more in the warlike. If you run into any physical matters, I may be able to help.
I understand. 1 minute. I trust that you will not be repeating any of this to your mentor.
None of it.
It's a hard thing to do, but thank you. Where is it? Okay. Give me your hands.
Okay. She'll give Isolde her hand.
And you see her cup her hands around yours. And they get very cool, like a cool night air's breeze. And you feel for a second like you're in a black, starless night. Above you is a giant man with an owl's head, watching over 2 tiny babies. And then suddenly, you look up and you're back in the library, and you're holding a mirror in your hands. That mirror will show you where the nearest conflict is. Wherever it is. I had hoped that I wouldn't need to start getting these out already. But if you're dead set on going that way, perhaps that will help.
Oh, I'm never dead set on fighting. I just do it when I need to.
And you? I'm sorry, what was your name?
Tallulah.
Tallulah. It's beautiful. I'm sorry that we hadn't had a chance to meet before. I'm Countess Assault, current head of the Eiluneds in the Kingdom of Apples. I'm sure you've heard. Are you, too, trying to become a battle sorceress?
Yes, I am. If that path is open for me, I shall take it.
Very well. Hold out your hand.
She gives the Countess her hand.
Okay. You too feel it, but this time you're standing on the surface of the moon, and it's completely empty and cold as ice, and at once it's alive, a magical forest full of everybody. The Fae, just like yourself, they're everywhere. They look just like you, exactly like you. They could be your clones, and you're back. You're back. And you two are holding a mirror. It's a small thing. It looks a little cheap, to be honest, both of you. But it will show you where the nearest fight is. To clarify, a changeling needs to be involved in the fight for it to show up in the mirror. I wasn't able to perfect it so that denizens or Gallane or Thalane would show up.
Understood.
Hopefully this will help you.
It will.
Astrea, Tallulah, keep your eyes sharp.
Yes.
And
Yes, my lady.
with that, unless you have anything else, she's going to leave.
Yeah. And Tallulah will follow Astrea because she can even remember the way out. Possibly.
Here, come on. Let's go. Oh, shit, I don't remember the way out. Oh, God, we're gonna fucking die.
Oh God, you're a terrible noble. Look graceful, damn it! My God.
No, I mean, like, she's still looking graceful, but she's like, oh, God, we can't find our way out of the castle. So, like, they walk around, get lost, walk around again.
No, it's not here. No, wait. I think we already took that path before.
Shit, you're right. Okay, let's go.
If anyone asks, they're trying to, avoid being followed.
Yep. Totally. Yep.
Yeah, you're throwing them off. Okay, kiddos, we're gonna end the scene here. Good night.